What a wonderful moment. We're delighted she's joining us today. Please welcome Victoria Ekanoye. Hi. Have a seat. So
emotional already.
Oh, it's so lovely to see you. You know, you probably heard us talking earlier how much we absolutely loved the show. What was that moment like when you didn't know what she was going to ask you at this point?
Well, she's like that, isn't she?
I know. That surprised them. There's no point giving them notice. They've got too much time then to back out.
Exactly. I'm like, maybe I'm busy that day. I mean, the whole thing, the whole experience has been an assault on the senses, but in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been so raw, and everybody... It's like a big group therapy session every time we got together. But that particular moment, because I didn't know what he was going to do, I think, you know, when you feel like you've been naughty and the school teacher comes in and you're like, oh, my God, what have I done? Like, what did I do? It was kind of that, so I didn't have a clue what you were going to say. But kind of felt like, how can I say no? Partly because of what it means, but partly because you're a tricky one.
But it's interesting you say that, because there are so many moments, and we know we've watched the show, you know, for many years. There are so many moments where people say, I would normally say no, but because you said you're bonded, not just in, you know, trauma, but in recovery as well.
Yes.
And that everyone says, well, I wouldn't normally, but I'll do it for these guys, or I'll do it for my family. I'll do, and because it's the awareness. So people are doing extraordinary things.
Absolutely. It's that the reason why we're there, it's the right reason, and we're all there for ourselves, for the people around us. I mean, it's like a bomb that gets dropped in your world, and the ripple effect is huge. And it isn't just, you know, the surgery or the treatment or even diagnosis. It's the impact that it has on everybody around you, your family, your friends, and as we know, that fear then forever that it could come back.
And while we're talking, for people who didn't see it, you know, you talk about the bomb being dropped. Just remind people when that bomb dropped for you and how you knew.
So, I'm not crying today.
No, bet you do, bet you do.
So my son Theo was 6 months old and I was breastfeeding him. And I found a lump, and I think it's natural because you've just had a baby. There's so many changes in your body, hormonally, plus you're going a little bit insane. You just assume that those changes are due to being pregnant or even breastfeeding or, you know, whatever's going on in your body. And I wanted so much for that to be the case, but I'm the 5th person in my family now to develop breast cancer, the 9th to develop some form of cancer in 3 generations. And I'm also a patron for Prevent Breast Cancer, so I was kidding myself, really. And to be fair, it took me 2 days, which is long for me, to go and get help. Frustratingly, it took 3 opinions for me to get my diagnosis. And I think about this all the time because anyone would take that first opinion and run for the hills with glee and hope that that is
But did you know that it was
I just know my body. So I have sickle cell, and so I have to be really body aware anyway. And I think, especially in that moment, I was just constantly conscious of everything that was going on because I just had the baby and there's all these crazy changes, and he's my first and only child. And so, you know, it's miraculous, it's wonderful. I've always felt that way. But you're constantly on high alert all the time. And it just didn't feel right. It felt like a frozen pea or chickpea or...
But that's small.
It was
yeah, absolutely. And I genuinely believe this. I think having Theo saved my life because if I weren't breastfeeding him...
You might not have noticed it.
Because, they, you know, as they fill with milk, they get bigger and it pushed the lump to the surface. So it got to a point where you could just see it.
Yeah.
You could just see it without going looking for it.
And a lot of women have lumpy breasts anyway. And when you have a mammogram, it doesn't really show all the lumps there.
Yeah.
You have to have the scan as well.
Yeah, you have to...
But where are you now with it all?
I haven't told you this yet, but I'm okay. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I should have led with that. I should have led with that. Basically, I'm on tamoxifen and goserelin. That's the medication that I'm on at the moment. And they put me on that as opposed to chemotherapy because they thought it would be more life-threatening than saving because of the sickle cell. And the side effects for that is that I'm now in an induced menopause, which is really fun with a toddler. And I wanted to know, take a little bit more control of my treatment and the process and work out whether I needed to be on this medication or not, because it was more of a, I don't know, belt and braces, let's make sure that we catch everything. So I went and had a incredible, groundbreaking blood test to see if I had any circulating tumour cells left in my body from the breast cancer.
Right.
And I do, but it's a very small amount that can be treated. And I'm hoping that it's not a case of having to need chemotherapy because of all the side effects of that. But the main thing for me is knowing now, because it's on a molecular level. It's not something you'd see on a scan or an ultrasound, mammogram. It's nothing you can feel.
So you've got it way in advance.
Yes. So whatever, you know, I'm waiting for results to come back because they've done another set of tests. And once they come back, I'll know. And I think it's the not knowing and that loss of control.
Waiting that news.
Absolutely.
And also the language of the scan, when you get the results of the scan, do you have someone explain it all to you?
I'm really lucky because my haematologist is involved with everything as well because of my sickle cell. So anything I don't understand, he explains to me really well.
Can I just say as well, I mean, everyone in the show was amazing. But actually, Victoria, I have to say this because I don't think I say it enough. You're one of the most positive people, but also one of the nicest souls I've ever met in my life. And you know, that isn't a showbiz compliment. I say it to everyone I meet about you. You are so kind. You never had a bad word. You never complained. I mean, she got very ill during the filming and she was in hospital for 9 days. And all she could think about was phoning us up and going, I'm so sorry I've let you down. I'm going to come back. And she just never complained. She's just amazing. And she's got amazing breasts.
She saw them.
God, she got them out. And I was like, wow.
Well, we'll see them
We don't
tonight.
see them. Oh, you'll see them.
Can I just ask you before you go? Sadly, never enough time.
I know,
So many things to talk about. What do you hope people will get out of watching you taking part in the show with Coleen?
Gosh. 2 things, and I'll try and be very, very quick. The first thing is every single choice that we make is having an impact on our bodies. So whether it's what we're eating, what we're putting on our skin, whatever it may be, taking that ownership of our bodies is so important. And I know it's scary. Nobody wants to go to the hospital or the doctors and hear bad news, but it's so much worse if you go and they say, we can't do anything for you. So the earlier we catch it, the better. Absolutely. Thank you. And then the other thing as well, which is huge, is our bodies are beautiful and so different and so glorious in their own ways, regardless of what's going on, whether it's scarring or a little bit of weight or not enough weight or whatever. There's too much pressure out there. And just, it's easier said than done, but just love what we've got because it's the only one we've got. And we can't go and order another one, next day delivery. So there's not really much you can do with that.
It's been wonderful watching you last night. We're looking forward to tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And, you know, we always say if you've just helped one person, if one person checks themselves and finds something and you could save a life, and that's what you're all doing. We're so proud of you all. Thank you. So, yeah, the Full Monty, the grand finale is tonight at 9 o'clock on ITV1. Do not miss it. It's a wonderful, wonderful show and having such an impact. And if you have been affected by anything that we've just been talking to there with Victoria and Coleen, please take a look at our website, itv.com/helplines, where you will find all the information and support. The Real Full Monty jingle balls, forgotten that bit, continues on ITV1, as I said, at 9 o'clock tonight. Thank you very much, Victoria.
Thank you.